Wow, this quarantine kitchen life is great. What do you think, Spike? Don't we got it easy? We should do this more often, Spike. Hi everyone, and welcome to my quarantine kitchen collab. This is a collab with other trim healthy mamas, keto mamas, low carb, sugar-free mamas here on YouTube, and we're going to share with you ways that we are going to keep the food going in our kitchens during this shelter in place, during this pandemic, because different areas are finding you don't have different foods at the grocery store. Everybody's different, I've been noticing. So down below in my description box, you will see a list of all the different channels joining us, and many of those names you're gonna go, oh, I didn't know they had a YouTube channel. There's some coaches, there's some food bloggers, and there's some regular YouTubers like me that are joining in this collab. So check out everybody and come back each Friday, because I believe we're gonna try to do this, you know, those who are able to participate, to do some more in the future. And be sure to check out Katie, the Ironheart Mama, because she's the mastermind behind this. She is such a blessing to us all, and to me personally. She is from the same area of Western New York that I am from, so we are like sisters at heart there, because we both understand they're not called buffalo wings, they're called chicken wings. We know about beef on weck and Weber's mustard and all that good stuff, all right? So make sure you go check her out and support her blog, support her over on Instagram and here on YouTube. So what we're each going to do is share different ways that we are surviving in the kitchen during this pandemic. I like to keep my meals with no special ingredients recently, because I'm trying to keep a lower budget on our groceries. So I'm not going to go crazy and buy all those special ingredients that are out there. And even foods that are popular right now with Trim Healthy Mama that are a little bit more costly, I'm not going to be buying. Now, to be honest with you, I have not eaten 100% on plan. I think there hasn't been one day that I've eaten 100% on plan since this. In my brain, it's like, just do it, Claire, eat on plan, and then I'm making all these foods to make the pennies stretch and everything, and I'm like, I'll just taste it. One's not going to hurt you, right? Oh, yeah, it's hurting me. So, but it's not, we're not going to talk about that. That doesn't matter. Those are those rabbit trails. What I'm going to share with you are foods that I've been using in my kitchen lately that are foods that most people have in their kitchens and are using, but because we are focusing on them more right now, we're finding new ways to use them. So that's what I'm going to share with you today in this video. As I mentioned, some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you are probably items you already have in your kitchen right now, or before this pandemic started, you had as a staple in your kitchen. I'm just trying to bring to you new ideas and new ways to use them. And I've also in my videos, as I've been sharing, if you're not familiar with my channel and you're new here, hello, first of all, but I've been sharing for the last 2 weeks videos of our day in the life being stuck at home and shelter in place, and how we've been using the different staples around the house, you know, and my trips to the grocery store, so you can see how it is. We live in the Bay Area of California. San Francisco is just a hop, skip, and a jump over that way. Well, maybe a couple hops and a couple skips and a really long jump over the bay, but it's over there. My husband was just in the city last night, and it's like a ghost town. But anyway, so that's where we live. So when this first started, things were hard to find. Food shelves were empty. Now, the Lord just blessed us in many ways throughout this. I won't go into that, but I just want to give him the glory for getting us through this food-wise, because he's provided money, he's provided work, he's provided food for our family through the grocery store, through stocking up just before everybody panicked. We went to the grocery store probably about it was the Wednesday before the president closed the, announced, I think it was closing something, travel or something like that. It was the Wednesday before St. Patrick's Day. And we bought a bunch of lentils, a huge bag of beans, we bought a bunch of meat and things like that, because my husband's like, you never know, and I was like, nice, everything's gonna be fine. So we did have a good stash, but we've used that stash. So the first thing I want to share with you is beans. Now, this is one of those things that you're not going to be able to really find in many stores. If your store has a bulk department, check out the bulk department. We just found out last week at our Winco that they're changing up their bulk. The self-serve bins that you would normally scoop out, they're getting rid of those, and only the ones that have the levers that you can to press down and enter it, you know, get your items out that way, which I think is fantastic right now. But you can use these beans in so many ways. Now, yes, if you're following Trim Healthy Mama, and maybe if you're keto, you're not going to eat these, but maybe you should pray about it and say, God, how can I use these in a time that we need to keep healthy on the diet that you are on? So that's what you really need to think about. That's why I've kind of not put Trim Healthy Mama on the back burner, but it's not my main focus right now. Right now, my main focus is keeping the food budget low and staying healthy and feeding my family at a lower cost than I did even a month ago when I was already pinching my pennies. You know, you pinch your pennies, but now they're screaming I've pinched them so much. I cook these in my Instant Pot. I have 2 Instant Pots, and they are a huge blessing. If you don't have one, I highly recommend it. But if you can soak the beans and then put them in there, you don't even have to soak them. But you can make beans and rice. You can make homemade refried beans. We have not bought refried beans in probably a year or 2. I've always made homemade refried beans since I've gotten our Instant Pots. So you can also do red beans. You can do the kidney beans. You can do all sorts of, any sort of bean that you already use. You can cook, and then you can put them in baggies for the freezer, and then you'll have those on hand, and you're going to be saving so much money. Now, as I was saying, in our bulk department at Winco, normally you can buy a huge 25 pound bag. I said that a bunch of times, didn't I? That's going to be a funny edit. A large bag of like we bought a 50-pound bag of flour. You know, you can buy a 25-pound bag of probably lentils for about, I think it was about $14. And it turned, I could be wrong on my prices and the weight, but it was a humongous bag that is like those big bags of dog food that you buy. It's like big ones like that. So when we're done with these beans, if Winco still has them, we're going to buy those and buy those tubs that you would put for food storage. I have some over here. I'll probably try to get over there so you can see them and do that. So that's one way to save money. You can spend, like, say $20 on one item to get a whole bunch of it, and then you could just divvy it out as you use it, you know. But you can make beans and rice. You can make a taco soup. You can put these, now what we do now to bulk things up, because meat is like, there was like no meat at the store one week, and then there's meat the next week. I think the stores are getting back into their groove again, except the toilet paper. Why are you buying toilet paper? I still don't understand. Anyway, okay, so you can make up your taco meat, and then you can add brown rice to it and your cooked pinto beans, and you're gonna have an awesome, now it's gonna be a crossover most likely, because unless you use like low-fat meat, but we don't buy low-fat meat, we buy the meat that we can afford. And so having that has changed the way we eat our taco meats the last few weeks. My kids are in love with it, and I have 4 teenagers, 12-year-old boy is almost just about a teenager, and then 2 little girls, and my 10-year-old eats like she's a teenager. But that is a great way to bulk up your food. So add rice to your meals that you wouldn't think about adding rice to. Do you know you can cook your rice in your Instant Pot and it comes out fantastic? It is amazing. Now, there's a commercial for my friend Michelle over at Encouraging Mamas. I'll try to link her above or below. She's like the Instant Pot queen. Every time I need something about the Instant Pot, I go to her and check out her recipes. She used to do Trim Healthy Mama, and now she does keto. So you'll find amazing recipes that you could use on her channel. She is a YouTuber, so go check her out. But I was going to her about the rice, and she was telling me about that. But you can add some brown rice to a lot of meals, and yes, you're going to turn it from an S to an E perhaps, or make it a crossover, but crossovers are on plan. So if you're doing Trim Healthy Mama and you're doing this to survive in your quarantine kitchen, in your shelter-in-place kitchen, in your stay-at-home kitchen, in your pandemic kitchen, whatever you want to call it, add some brown rice and beans. Cornmeal. This is great for my kids because all I need is a cup of this and a cup of flour, and I'm making cornbread for the children, and it's going to help fill them up on the meals. All right? Yes, I've snuck some too because it's turned out really good. Now, quinoa. 2 weeks ago, well, a week ago, we found this in the bulk department, so I stocked up on this. I haven't used it yet because I'm not exactly sure what to do with it. So if you have ideas, please let me know. But this is great. Just like you can use it for the rice, you can add it to your meats. right? Couldn't I add it to my taco meat? I could make side dishes with it. I can add it with some beans. That would probably be a really good meal together. I know that there's a breakfast that Trim Healthy Mama makes that you can do this like you would oatmeal. But look in the bulk department because you never know what type of grains you're going to find and things there. Now, the next super budget friendly, low cost dinner that you can make for your family, no matter what size your family is lentils. Lentils. This right now is like my family's favorite meal. Is this good, Abigail? Yeah, lentil soup. I use different variations of the Trim Healthy Mama recipes, the mentholating soup. There's one in a cookbook, and then sometimes I just throw things together. I put seasoning mix in there, I put salt and pepper, I put some different Italian spices in there. I cook two chicken breasts in it with the slow cooker for the meat, and then I slice it up. And 2 chicken breasts is great. 3 is what we need in our size family for soups. But if I try to stretch it and do 2, it still works because last week it was our thing. Now our church services in the midweek are on Thursday. So I put this in the slow cooker before we leave for church. And when we come home, we have an awesome lentil soup. But this week I'm not doing lentil soup because we were given meat. We were given a whole turkey. So that is how we're surviving. And it is a huge blessing that another pastor's wife friend of mine gave us a whole turkey and this ginormous loaf of like lunch meat, turkey lunch meat. But anyway, we're talking about lentils. You don't have to add chicken to it, but I do it because it bulks it up, and it even my dog eats it. Okay, I make food for our dog, and our dog eats the chili we have. My dog eats the lentil soup. This is one of his favorite things, that he gobbles this up. If he had a voice, I would ask Caspian, say, hey, do you like my lentil soup? And he would say, yes, I do like your lentil soup. So anyway, the other thing I want to share with you. So buy some quinoa, buy some brown rice. I can talk like Daffy Duck here, right? Buy some cornmeal and make some muffins for your kids. Throw in the hot dogs, okay? You know, make corn muffin, hot dog, what's it called? Corn dog muffins. Buy yourself some beans, all right? Buy some potatoes. Don't buy the boxes of mashed potatoes. See, I'm not going to do that anymore since this pandemic. I've been reintroduced to fresh mashed potatoes. I could probably show you on the scale how much my body has loved the homemade mashed potatoes, but I'm not going to share that with you. You can do all sorts of things with these potatoes. You can have your children make, we could do baked potatoes. You can, if you have an older kid that cooks in the kitchen, give your teens the challenge of, here's a bag of potatoes, make us dinner. You know, you do a baked potato bar. I mean, there are so many endless things that we're not thinking about that you're like, oh, I should do that. I should have that for a meal that is low cost. Coffee break. So that is one thing you can do. Homemade hash browns. I will show you some homemade hash browns. You found your pepper wash.
Guys, listen. It's really quiet.
That's probably copyrighted, and I'm going to get in trouble for having that on my video. Okay, go play.
Okay,
all right, thank you, sweetie. So those are some ideas of things that you can do. Now, what I'm going to do now is, in previous videos, I have shared ways that I've made the lentil soup. So I'm going to share you a little bit of the video of the lentil soup that we make. And I'm going to share with you barley, pearl barley. Raise your hand if you had pearl barley. We had it last week. It was so good. I made a vegetable, beef, and barley soup. Now I used ground beef. I didn't use like stew meat. It was so delicious. I'm going to be making that a lot because it is low cost. It comes in a bag just like this. This was like 89 cents maybe, you know? And if you buy the bigger bags, you can get even more for a lesser price. But barley soup, I went on the internet, I looked up an Instant Pot video. Instant, not Instapot, okay? Only if your brothers are out front. Brothers have to be out front for the dog to be out there with you. So we added vegetables. I added celery, carrots. Oh, I added potatoes because I had potatoes. The ground beef, stock, onions, and it was so good. And I had it for leftovers, and my dog ate it too. My dog ate it. He ate all his vegetables. He got his fats and his carbs in that thing. It was so good. Buy go down this aisle. Maybe your store is gonna have this stuff. Mine really is empty. I got like, there was like a couple bags left last week, so I got that. But those are some great ways. So enjoy the barley soup I'm gonna share with you in a minute. My lentil soup I'm gonna share with you in a minute. And I think that's about it. Now, so here's tonight's dinner. I finally used the barley up. So I used it in my 8-quart Instant Pot. Show them my flamingos. So I put all sorts of veggies, as you can see, in it. And so it's really, really hot, you know, like when something first comes out of the oven. So I'm putting it in here to cool. It needed more salt, so I put salt in everybody's. Have butter, and then I made homemade cornbread. So I just cut this, and I got to get it out. And we're going to dig into this. This is not a Trim Healthy Mama meal. I'm sure I could do this on plan for an e-meal, but this is totally either off plan or a crossover because it's got ground beef in it that's fatty, and then I'm gonna have some cornbread that's not on plan. So yeah, let's just call it an off-plan meal. So lentil soup, I have 2 chicken breasts in here to save on the chicken, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Oh, that was a good pack. Usually only get 6. And I'm gonna put this in a freezer bag and have it thaw. Muley's outside with the dog, right here now, protecting him from the scary cutting sounds. And so that's what we're gonna have for dinner. All right, coffee break. Now you're probably thinking, Claire already knew all that stuff. Okay, great. I'm glad you knew all that stuff, but try to expand it even more. Mix some of these together to see what would make an even better meal. Now I knew that you could add rice and beans to your taco meat to make it better, but I didn't do it. And I finally did it, and it's like life-changing. You can put it inside of a quesadilla, you can put it inside of a taco, you can make it in a part of a taco salad, you can make burrito bowls with it, because that's what we ended up doing, making burrito bowls with it. It turned out so amazing. It really was delicious and wonderful. So check out ways, you know, look online to find ways that you can expand your way of introducing these things into your foods. There's all sorts of different ways. Now I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. There's one more thing that in my quarantine kitchen that you can do to save money, and that's going to help. Do you have a bread machine? I have a bread machine. Here's my bread machine right here. I love my bread machine. I actually have 2 bread machines. I had 3, but I only need 2. I use this to mix our pizza dough. There's another one. If you can find flour, pizza dough. Well, we got that 50-pound, 25-pound, whatever it was, this humongous bag of wheat flour. I'm so excited to have wheat flour. So what I'm going to do is make rolls instead of breads for my children. I made rolls the other day, and they were the most delicious whole wheat. There was no white flour in it at all. Whole wheat rolls. So that recipe is a keeper. If I can remember it, I'll try to link it down below. If I forget, remind me in the comments. Say, hey, Claire, you forgot to link the bread, the roll recipe. And I'll try to remember to add it to there. But also any links that I forget to add, always remind me, because you know, once we edit the video, we forget that we said we're going to add it. A lot of YouTubers do that. Okay, don't get on us about it. Just remind us. We need reminding. I have 7 kids. I need reminding a lot. So making rolls, and that's going to save you money. The breads, sometimes the breads are out in the stores. I just watched Michelle's video, and the bread's kind of like, we're going to make your own homemade tortillas. I watched a YouTuber, and she made homemade tortillas. I'll try to see, there's another link I should link down below to watch her video. And she's got a bunch of kids at her house too, so she's feeding homemade tortillas. So there are plenty of ways to make your money, to make your items stretch. And homemade bread is one of them, and it's good and nutritious. Well, you might not, Trim Healthy Mamas might not think it's too nutritious, but when you make it yourself, it's a lot better than the stuff at the store. That's what I mean by nutritious, okay? Forget I said it the other way. Anyway, so that's all I have for you today. Check out the links below, because you're going to get great tips from the other mamas and the other ladies, the other Trim Healthy Mamas that you're not going to get from me, because they think differently than I do. And they're going to give you great ideas, and I'm really looking forward to watching their videos. Everyone's budget is different. Everyone pinches their pennies in different items. Me, I try to stay away from no special ingredients. I should give you an update on that though, and things that I've noticed since I tried to not buy special ingredients anymore. So if you're a Trim Healthy Mama, one day I will make a video about what I've noticed, you know, in the way I'm eating and using them is what I mean. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the other ladies' videos, and I hope that you get great ideas from them that help you make your food last right now as we go through a tough time. And let me just give you a little friendly reminder. Keep your eyes on the Lord right now. You might not be able to actually go to your church family, your church, and worship together, but you can at home. And if your church is doing live streaming, don't fall out of going to church through this by not watching the live stream. Get your family around, whatever you use, you know, your computer, your TV, to watch your live stream of your pastor. And if your church doesn't live stream, find one that does. I will gladly give you the link to our Facebook page if you want to watch. My husband, he stands right there, right there, and he preaches on Sundays and Thursdays, and he's going to be doing that again tonight. It's stay in your Bibles, stay focused on the Lord through this. I'm not really going to talk about how I feel about this pandemic because God's opened my eyes to some things about what's going on in the world, and it's amazing. And as long as we keep our faith in God and don't fall, you know, don't fall away from Christ right now. You need to keep your eyes focused on God right now through this, because it's a trying time and it's so easy to fall right now, you know, because your church, your pastor's not watching you. You're not, oh, he missed church on Sunday, let's give him a call, you know. No one knows if you're watching the live feed, you know, that's the thing. So stay in your Bibles and stay faithful to your church services, whether they're live streamed or however they do them. Find one. All right, that's all I have for you. And be a blessing, ladies, and I will see you next time in another video. Toodaloo. Coffee break again? Well, I don't mind if I do. All right, another way for our quarantine kitchen to thrive with less food in the stores. Well, you know, I've shared that we really aren't having less food, but I'm still acting as if there is, you know, trying to be more thrifty than I even was before. So anyway, what I want to encourage you to do, and I'll show you what we have. I want to encourage you to check your local public schools, whether you go to public school or private school or whether you homeschool. Our area is offering meals that families can go pick up and bring home for their children. They're offering breakfasts and lunches because many kids, and you probably can testify to this in your area, children go hungry and they don't have the food at home with the lower incomes families, so they get their breakfast and their lunch at school. It's provided for them. And during this time where children aren't able to go to school, they're not getting fed because they're low incomes and the food's not there. So they're offering you to be able to come pick up your lunches and your breakfasts and have them for a couple of days. So I'm going to encourage you to save money in your kitchen and be thrifty in your kitchen and not having certain foods that you can still feed your children because they're offering it to everyone. I am a homeschool family. I have a friend who works for the school, not as a teacher, but they work at the school, and they're encouraging me, and they are also a homeschool family, to go get them. He encouraged his wife to go get it, and she's encouraging me to go get them. So we're gonna go head in the car right now and go get them, and I'm gonna share with you when we come back what we got. So go check out your schools. Most likely your school is doing it already. We are back, and I wanted to share with you what we got. We got breakfast and lunch in this bag here. So the kids got either a package of cereal, you know, the single serve cereal, or a Pop-Tart. So I have 2 kids with a Pop-Tart, and the rest of the kids have cereal. Don't put, oh, he's got fudge. And then the other kids got Doritos, and then 2 children got these sunflower kernels. And I told everybody they can trade up and switch around. You want me to open that? They can trade whatever they want. So they each got either carrots and broccoli or celery. They got a white milk, a chocolate milk, they got an orange pineapple juice, and a sandwich, which everything is you know, sealed. His looks like some sort of turkey loaf. Abigail's, yours looks like it could be tuna or chicken salad. So Hers looks different than Kendall's. This is Kendall's. It's got
Yeah.
cheese and some meat on
I
there.
think that's like a normal one.
Yeah, that's just like a meat sandwich.
I traded
So
my
he got
celery
broccoli.
for
He got celery. Somebody got baby carrots, and then
No, Kendall
me
had
show
the
out
baby
here.
carrot.
what other kids got. See, this is the other thing for cereal. You got the milk, the cereal instead of a Pop-Tart, and then a bag of Cool Ranch chips. That is one way that you can save money in your quarantine kitchen. If you're not finding foods available, check your public schools to see if they're offering this free food.